With national elections due in several European countries over the next 12 months, the far right is campaigning hard, and the rise of parties such as Jobbik in Hungary, Golden Dawn in Greece and the NVA in Belgium gives great cause for concern.
The far right is on the rise because of the economic problems in Europe. In every time when there are economic problems, extremism is on the rise. So the far-right parties profit from the economic turbulences of Europe in order to have more people behind them. It's a clarity. The European Union can have general European laws against extremism, against anti-Semitism, against racism, and so on. These European laws do not exist. They are by country, but not general for the European Union. The kinds of worry us most are the countries of Eastern Europe and Central Europe, because you have anti-Semitism and the rise of fascism in the Baltic states, but also in Hungary with Jobbik, who have received legitimacy to being in the parliament and are not stopped by the European Union in any way. In Flanders, the N-VA party, which is called a nationalist party, has chosen another path. They're trying to include the nationalist wishes to be Flanders independent, but part of Europe. There's a difference with parties which are like Jobbik in Hungary, which try to make nationalism part of extremism and racism and anti-Semitism. There's a big difference. So you have a difference between legitimate nationalist party who try to do something for the people and parties who profit from nationalism to become an extremist party and in this attract people to vote for them. Europe should make legislation, pan-European legislation, which would condemn any acts of anti-Semitism and racism. If they don't do this, there is no reason to have unity in Europe and to have Europe as a united country, because there is no European legislation. Leaving it to every country decide by its own is dividing Europe and making anti-Semitism and racism different in every country. If the economic crisis does not decrease, extremism will increase. This is a fact which has been proven by centuries. And in fact, extremism is on the increase and we see it everywhere. The more problematic is that extremism is more and more accepted by the people.
The economic crisis that has engulfed the Eurozone in particular has also given these parties a great opportunity, of course. The success of Golden Dawn in Greece is perhaps the most dramatic example of that. But I fear that at the European elections next year, we will see many other examples of them making headway. However, there is one thought we can perhaps console ourselves with, and that these parties then turn out to be very poor at cooperating with one another and forming any kind of alliance across international borders, and that's because, of course, they are basically people who dislike foreigners. They often have agendas that compete with one another that are incompatible. Going back to the Hungarian Guard and Jobbik at Lake Balaton, if the Hungarian Guard in their paramilitary uniforms were a fairly alarming sight, then a lot of the civilian supporters were pretty alarming too. Their favourite dress was T-shirts with maps of Hungary that showed Hungary enlarged to take territory from all the neighbouring countries around it. It's very hard to believe that a political party that has not yet reconciled itself to the consequences of the First World War is about to learn the lessons of the Second, I'm afraid.
In an economic crisis, a vote for the far right may seem an attractive option to some who are seeking to blame others for their particular troubles. This is Colin Stevens for JN1 in Antwerp.